Hello, so we're joined here by the lovely Miya Muratta. Miya is a businesswoman, an influencer, and an entrepreneur. So, obviously, as mainly being an entrepreneur, what specifically is it you do for a living?
Actually, I've started my first business when I was 17 years old.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah, it was an IT project. We integrated a couple of government projects, it's museums, galleries into the metaverse.
Okay.
So it was project that we focused on investors to attract investors from maybe Dubai, different countries, because now we're a fast growing country like Uzbekistan. And we decided to use a B2G model, to work with government, because I was so young, I didn't know how to work B2B. So my main consideration was government. And also they started to support mini startups. It was a young people who making something in IT sector. And we had IT Park who also supported us in this way. And then we have started our first project. So we won a grant from government.
Right, okay.
Yeah, it was a really huge grant. And then we have launched to finish this project. We tried to finish this project. It was a digital museum in the metaverse of Uzbekistan, of New Uzbekistan, because now our country have New Uzbekistan project. This project is focusing on building Olympias stadiums,
Okay.
Formula One trace. So a lot of stuff. So we integrated it in there, and when we finished it, so I moved to the UK, and now I'm on the way to start new business.
Okay, so that business that you started, did you start it by yourself, or did you have business partners?
I had my business partner. It was my dad.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, so he helped me to introduce. So he introduced me to how it works, because I was a woman, and it's not common in our country, because we're an Asian country, to meet a young woman entrepreneur. You know what I mean? Just because of the mentality of people, because there are a lot of opportunities for men, but I don't think that for women is the same.
So would you say it's relatively frowned upon then? Obviously, a woman pursuing an entrepreneur sort of road, yeah. So obviously, you were quite recently in Forbes, and they obviously coined you the youngest woman, female entrepreneur. So what was the first thing what sort of went through your mind when obviously you got given that title?
I feel the first thing that went through my mind, it was a bit of disbelief and a pride for myself. I was really proud of all the hard work that I made and risks that I took, because I was so young, and when I started, I didn't even know that I will reach that success.
Mm-hmm.
Because Forbes, they were really interested in this story, because when I was 17 years old, I introduced this project to the president.
Oh, right, okay.
He signed a document to fund our project.
Oh,
so it was really, I was speaking, and my colleague was speaking with the president straightly.
So it was very personal.
It was very personal. Yeah. And then I feel and then I introduced this project to Prince of Turkey, a person who is married on the woman who is a daughter of Erdogan.
Oh, right, okay. Who is that though? Sorry.
I don't remember his name.
Oh, okay.
It was 2 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. So
from the time that you started to the time that you were coined the youngest entrepreneur, how long was that? So was it 2 years or so?
2 years.
2 years. So that's relatively quick then as well.
Yes.
Very quick journey. So
yeah, and now I'm feeling more responsible for people who are watching me, because they know my past, they know what I'm doing, and I feel I need to care. I need to be more curate, now, because I need to support them. I feel I need to support them because I'm a role model for them now.
Right, okay.
Yeah, and they trust me. They trust what I'm saying. They try to be on the same, on the same level and the same trend with me now. And I feel a strong responsibility for them now.
Yeah, I think it's very hard for especially us as UK citizens to relate to, because obviously it's not as frowned upon where we're from. Obviously, if you'd have gone back 100 years, it would have been, obviously even for us back then. But in the modern day right now, it's not so much frowned upon. So it's very hard for us to sort of understand, that perspective that a lot of people from your country have of, oh, this woman's now an entrepreneur. Like, but it is very much like you said, people will look up to you as a role model. Like, obviously, if you're one of the first to do it, that'll be like a bit of an inspiration for them to go forward. But obviously, this all started much before. So let's sort of go back to your childhood. So what was your childhood like, and like what was your family upbringing like?
To be honest, we wasn't that rich family, but I've seen all the way how my dad built his business and how has grown as a business entrepreneur, and then I felt like I really wanted to be like him. Especially when I was him in the business forums, various business forums in Uzbekistan. And I was a little girl who was watching, oh my gosh, what is it? And how they spoken with my dad was that proud, and then I've started thinking that, I need to be like him.
So they were speaking to him kind of like how you, almost like, they viewed him as a role model. So they looked up to him. So then you also looked up to him even more so.
Like some of my friends call my dad Elon Musk, but in Uzbekistan.
Right, okay.
Yeah, but my mom was a doctor. Yeah, but she now also entrepreneur.
Oh, right, okay.
So she started making money from business, like from operating hotel.
Hotel,
so hotel business, So now I feel like I am from entrepreneur family.
So that's mainly where your motivation come from. It was obviously your dad first, and then obviously your mum. So then, obviously it was like a more of a familial thing.
Yeah, but originally we're from Uzbekistan. I was born in Tashkent. I have 3 little sisters. I love them so much.
Okay.
Yeah, and my middle sister, she is a professional 3D maker, I would say, 3D video producer.
Okay, right, okay. So she makes like films and things like that, like cartoons?
Like films, some commercial videos,
right,
some building in Blender, 3D models for companies, like I would say for furniture companies.
Yeah.
So this is like a couple of facts about my family.
So she's like the tech nerd of the family.
Yeah,
I get you. So what are the top 3 things that every person who wants to be an entrepreneur, what are the 3 things that they should do?
I feel like first thing that they need to carry on is to be more adaptable to change.
Okay.
Because in this world, things change so fast, especially of the news, between countries, and you don't even know what will happen in the next year, what will happen in the next day even.
Yeah.
And you should be adaptable for taking risks.
Okay.
Yeah, so I feel like, I can sound like a more generally more common like now, but taking risks, it's like, you should be care about this. You should take it if you're an entrepreneur. Yeah. You should not be scared to do this.
So you be adaptable, you take risks, and what other thing?
I would say to be more stable of what you are doing, more consistency, like to develop consistency of what we are doing. Because I've met a lot of people who was like, I want to launch this business. And then after 3 months, I want to launch another business.
Yeah.
And then I ask them, but why didn't you start?
Yeah, there's no consistency.
There's no changing your mind, because this person told me like, I need more time to know what I'm doing. But I told him, please, you need to hold some one thing and to focus on the one thing, and then to on a daily basis do some work to achieve to achieve your goal, right? Yeah.
So which out of the 3 things? So we had adaptability, we had risk taking, and we had what was the other one? Sorry. So adaptability, risk taking, and consistency. Which one would you say you excel at out of those 3 the most?
Adaptable.
So you're more adaptable. It's interesting because I was reading something quite recently, and it was talking about what makes successful people successful, and obviously there's not just one thing, but adaptability was one of them. And it talked about, Charles Darwin. So he's an evolutionist. So he's the guy, and he has a famous quote, and it says that it's not the strongest or the smartest that survive; it's the most adaptable to the circumstances. That's why crocodiles, they always talk about crocodiles, that the reason they've been alive throughout the millennia is because they're the most adaptable creature. So that is a very interesting perspective, and that has some consistency throughout it. So what are, obviously we went through the top 3 things that entrepreneurs should do. What are the top 3 things that entrepreneurs should avoid or not do?
It's a really interesting question. So I think to keep everything in a secret before you started.
So keep it as a secret and then
it-
not tell a lot of people?
Keep it as a
That's
secret.
interesting. Why?
Yeah. Because people are getting so jealousy.
Right, okay.
So jealousy. Some people wish you the worst, like to have a worse experience in this business. They wish you the worst just
Right,
because
okay.
of the jealousy. And if you're starting something, just keep it in the secret. Just be silent.
Interesting.
And then when you're ready to start, making a buzz that you are gonna start it.
Right, okay.
It's what I've done. Because I've been preparing my business plan since last year, 2023. And recently I've announced in the Forbes that I'm gonna start my new business soon.
Right,
So
okay.
it was like a big buzz for like entrepreneurs who are also watching me, like from Uzbekistan and from the UK also. So I feel like, but it's because I'm an influencer now. But for people who are not influencers, but people who are not like that active on social media, I feel like just to be silent and don't tell anyone about your ideas
Until you're doing it.
that they can be stolen.
Right, okay.
It's really true.
It's really that bad, yeah.
It's really about it.
Yeah, that's kind of an interesting perspective because I suppose that's a very business way to look at it, because obviously if you have these business ideas, you don't want them to get stolen. You don't want people to sort of hijack your idea. I've usually talked to people and said, you know, not necessarily in the business world, but they usually say the opposite of almost telling, not necessarily as many people, but sometimes if you put it out in the world, it almost gives you that realization that you have to now do it because you've told people about it. So it is quite interesting, obviously, coming from a business perspective, that it's the opposite, because you don't want people to sort of hijack you.
You know, it's kind of, it acts differently when it comes to people who you know and people who you don't know. If it's your closest friends, but I have a lot of like friends, but not the closest friends. I have a couple of closest friends, but I have a plenty of other friends who are girls, who are like ladies. And I wasn't afraid to speak about my idea with them because I know that it's like a woman, how can I say?
Loyalty?
A woman loyalty. So they would not like take my idea.
Yeah.
But it doesn't work the same for men.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Because why do you think that is? I think I've got an idea of why that is, but why do you think it is?
Actually, I think it's more about that men are more risky and more they are more responsible for taking care about their future family.
Right,
so
okay.
they should take all the opportunities that they see. So they should use it. All the information they're trying to see, like a profitable like relationships. They like to build a profitable relationships with someone successful.
Yeah.
And when you don't realize it, they can lose.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think it's because men are a bit more brutal. Like they will take that risk.
They're more competitors.
They're a bit more ignorant in terms of they're not really bothered about the consequences as much as probably the average woman is bothered about the consequences. That's interesting. What are some other things, obviously, aside from telling people about whatever you're doing, what are some other things that entrepreneurs should stay away from?
To rely on just motivation, but not on the discipline.
Interesting.
Yeah, because I have faced with that. I was so motivated, but at the same time, I didn't build my discipline. So I burst my motivation and then it fell. And when it fell, I felt like, what should I do next? Again, to burst motivation and then again work. What next? What is this, like in the next day? What should I do? And then I've started building a discipline. So if you want to become an entrepreneur, you should be careful about the way how you think. You know, you should build your discipline no matter what. Don't rely on motivation. Don't rely on it.
How do you build discipline?
Books.
Interesting.
Books. Maybe some reminders in my phone. Alarm clocks that were alarming for the whole day. I was like, I felt like a real anxiety because of it. But I've made it by myself. I started like making some notes in a diary. Just I need to finish it. I must to. Even that I can be lazy sometimes. So because I'm a woman and I'm a real person. So yeah, but don't rely on motivation.
So you read a lot of books and then you sort of hold yourself accountable with like reminders and you write things in a diary and to sort of cure that.
Yeah, a couple of motivational books.
Okay.
But the first book that comes to my mind now, the name of this book, Why Didn't Anybody
Here at the Truth Temple podcast, we've got a goal of reaching 1,000 subscribers by the end of this year. Please help us out and subscribe at Truth Temple podcast.
Tell me this shit before.
Right. Okay. Who's that by?
To be honest, I don't remember the author,
Right. Okay.
the writer, but I remember everything.
Just pull that up so we can pull it up on the screen. So why? So say it again. So why didn't anyone tell me this shit?
Why didn't anybody tell me this shit before?
Right. Okay.
A perfect book for female entrepreneurs.
Right. Okay.
There are 60 letters that are written about female entrepreneurs. It was given a lot of advices to people, like how to manage everything, how to be a woman at the same time, to take care about the family, at the same time to be a businesswoman.
Right. Okay.
It's really difficult to collaborate everything.
Yeah. So why didn't who wrote it? So by Marcel Allison.
Yeah.
I don't recognize the name, to be honest.
Really?
No, I don't recognize it, but that is an interesting one. I'll have to. So like, what kind of things did you draw from that book?
To be honest, to be more confident when you position yourself in society, to be more confident, because from my background, Asian background, like in Uzbekistan, I didn't build, like the society didn't build a confidence in myself, because people are more judgmental. Yeah, that if you are a woman, you need only to take care about the family, but not about business. Like business is more for men, but not for women.
Yeah.
And when I started my business, I was sitting like in front of men, and I've started introducing my project, and I've seen this eyesight.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
I can imagine.
Like, but you're a woman. What are you talking about? You're young. You're so young. You're a woman. You don't know it at all. What are you talking about? And when I started to producing some results, when I started to showcase what I've done so far, to give them a strong arguments,
the faces changed.
The faces really changed.
Would you say that is worse? Have you noticed a difference between those faces in Uzbekistan versus in England?
Completely different. I feel like now this country, like I'm in the UK, it's more on the stage of life when people are more like, it's a gender equality.
Yeah, accepting of it.
Yeah. I feel like no one judge me here.
Right. Okay.
For how I am, how I express myself, and I really like it. That's why I've chosen the UK.
So that's part of the reason why you came here?
Yes.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Because I wanted to be like appreciated in society, no matter I'm a woman or I'm a man. Like I'm a person who is in the business, so it doesn't, like in business there is no woman or man.
Yeah. They're
just a person who is taking business.
Yeah.
That's all.
Like I said, I think that's kind of what we were saying at the start here. It's a lot less of a shock than it probably would be in your culture. Like I can't really relate to Uzbekistan because I've not seen it, but I can imagine, like, based on what I've read and based on how we know the world operates, I can kind of understand the looks that you'd get. Yeah. I've been reading a lot about into philosophy and whatnot, of like what it, like especially success philosophy, and a lot of it sort of points towards it says about in order to a person to achieve success in life, that you usually just need that one person to really believe in them. I feel like I already know what your answer will be, but who was that person for you, and what did they give you?
This person was always my dad. He was an inspiration for the whole my life, because the way how he introduced me to business, how he helped me to build the connections in Uzbekistan. He introduced me to a couple of entrepreneurs with whom I was speaking now, but by myself. I'm not like even now like using my surname, like, yeah, I'm like a daughter of this man, so just talk with me. But no, they're like, yeah, you're so talented girl. We need to talk with you about it, because you're like a Gen Z girl, from Gen Z, and we're interested in your opinion about some stuff. Yeah.
So would you say that they seen you away from the reputation of your dad? So they seen you as your own entity. So like,
yes.
Rather than associating you with your dad. I think that's you see that a lot in the modern day. For example, there's a footballer right now.
Yeah.
Jude Bellingham. Do you know Jude Bellingham?
Of course I do.
So he has a brother called Job, and he's much younger, and he plays for a team in England, and Joe Bellingham refuses to have Bellingham on the back of his
Yeah.
shirt, and it's because of that same thing. He doesn't want to be associated with, because my brother's so successful, you know, I'm part of that. So he wants to be his own. So that's what it kind of reminded me of, because I kind of like looked at that today.
Yeah.
So obviously your dad sort of pushed you down that sort of route, but then would it be fair to say that
Like,
he kind of just let you go?
Okay, I'll tell you. Let's begin that my dad really wanted a son. But he has
Don't
4
we all?
daughters.
Oh, he's one of them guys that's cursed.
Yes.
Poor man.
But
Poor man.
when I was born, he was like, okay, you're a girl.
You'll make do.
But I will make you as a, like, because he was thinking about, doesn't matter if she is a girl, I need to make someone really strong in my family.
Right.
Because we don't know what will happen in the next day. So someone can die, like, you know what I mean? Like, we don't know what will happen, because there can be an airplane crash, but there should be one person that should take care about the family.
Yeah.
And she, like, I feel like my mom, she made me this, like, she made me how can I say, this mindset. She introduced me to this mindset. So you need to take care of the family. But my dad, he introduced me how to make money.
Right. So
Like,
they
so
wanted
it's
you
like
to
a
sort of
match.
be a protector and provider.
Yeah, and I'm like a role model for my little sisters.
Yeah.
So if something can happen with my family, I would the one that will take care about my family.
Yeah.
And I don't want you. I'm sorry for inappropriate word, but fucked up.
You don't want to fuck it up.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but.
So would you say that is your prime motivation? Is the fact that, you know, obviously you want your own life and you want your own success in business, but the main priority for that is to want to be a protector of the family.
Yes.
Yeah.
To be a protector and to help achieve all the goals, like to help my little sister to achieve all their goals.
Yeah.
It's my huge motivation. I really want to buy them LV bags every day to send it over them, or to help them to find a really good husband, because I feel like if they want to study abroad, if they want to find a good husband, they need to be more, like, you know, smart. Because to be a stupid girl, it doesn't help you.
Yeah.
It will not help you in the real world.
Yeah.
I feel so. Because now it's so much beautiful girls, but only smart girls win.
Yeah, no, I kind of get what you mean. It kind of sets you apart when you've got a bit more about you.
Yeah.
I kind of get that. So obviously being in the social media as much as you are comes with its natural advantages and disadvantages. So what are some disadvantages that you've noticed about being so prominent on social media?
I became obsessed with making content.
Okay.
It's really disadvantage. Because when I'm meeting with my friends, they always tell me, what you are not living in the real life.
Right.
Why you live only in your phone. You only take care about taking photos and videos, but you should, like, live in the real world. We're sitting here with you, like, in front of you. And then I started, like, telling them, please understand me, because I became so obsessed with making photos, especially if it's aesthetically beautiful place. It's like, it's a cafe.
I love the way you say aesthetic.
Aesthetically beautiful. Yeah, it is. And sometimes it really annoys my friends.
Yeah. To be fair, I can kind of understand, because I've seen them. I have seen it on that end of the scale, especially when I've probably most relatable when I've dated girls in the past, and like you can't take them anywhere because they'll like get out the phone and it's picture, and you feel like you're with like a movie star, and you're like, why? So I can kind of understand. So how do you sort of try and bring that down a bit, or do you just say, well, this is how I am, etc.? Yeah,
I'm just keeping it, because it's just my daily habit.
Yeah.
And when I try to not being that active, like to just put myself down, put my phone down and don't take any picture and videos.
Does it give you a bit of anxiety?
Anxiety, and I became depressed, especially when I've seen a beautiful place with beautiful meal. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's a really cute stories for my blog. I need to take picture of that and show people. I became really, like, content obsessed, and sometimes friends give me a content time. They're waiting for 15 minutes to take photos about me, and they're waiting for me to take this content, to shoot the content, and then they tell me, please, could you please put your phone down and just talk with us in the real life, because we are here, we're not in the Telegram or Instagram. So and I feel like the second disadvantage sometimes you cannot be yourself.
Okay.
You should be always happy. You should always show people that everything is okay with you. You should share your energy with people, but sometimes you are really depressed and you don't want to share something with someone. You just want to be in your room, in your flat, just chilling, just watching movies, and don't really care about what are you doing now. But when I started producing the content, when I was sad, when I was depressed, I tried to give an advice to people who watching me. Like, I was sad, yeah. I'm like, yeah. And a lot of people started unfollowing me.
Okay.
Because it really annoys.
Right. So you almost have to not be yourself in order to maintain your followers and maintain that sort of.
Sometimes it really sucks.
Interesting.
Yeah. Sometimes I cannot be myself, but I try to be more like who I am now in my blog. But when I have a really difficult times, they don't know what is behind the screen. Mm-hmm. They just know what they see in Instagram. Mm-hmm. That's it. They just rely on the beautiful pictures, a beautiful life, because it inspires them. It distract themselves from the life, their own life. Yeah. But when they see depression, sad stories about maybe breakdown, like you're mentally, like when you mentally break down, they started just unfollow because they don't know. I'm not even following people who are more struggling in social media, who are showing people that they are more depressed. It's really annoys.
Yeah, I think there's a fine line. I think I always like it when people show themselves, like they show the highs, and you see, like, for example, someone like Joe Rogan. I look, do you know Joe Rogan, the famous?
To be honest, no.
You don't know who Joe Rogan is?
No.
So he's a very famous podcaster in America. He's probably the most famous podcaster on the planet. So yeah. So for example, he'll talk on a podcast like we are, but he'll talk about stuff that people go through that struggle. So like I find it relatable. Because if someone was just always happy and always, I'm doing this, look how great my life is, look at the car I drive, look at the house I have, I'd kind of just be like, Jesus, like, I'd kind of see that it's fake, so then that'd almost make me resent them almost. Whereas when they're more real, of like, like, I have all this, but don't get me wrong, I have my bad days too, then that makes it more relatable, I guess. That's just me personally, but...
I feel like you're right, but... You know that women are more stressful than men.
Yeah.
That's why every month we have our period, and it really like it changed the game. It's changed how the thing works, especially for women.
So you feel like for women, they just want to see the good stuff. They don't want to see the bad stuff. Yeah. Interesting.
Especially when all your main auditory is a man. And when you're crying and you're sad, it annoys.
Right, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. But for women who watching me, I feel like if they see how I'm crying, how I'm feeling like depressed, it will not affect the same for women because they will get me. They will definitely get me.
That's where I think there's a big misconception in the world at the minute. Like, a lot of women, especially in the Western world, are talking about how they don't really care about men crying. Or say, for example, a woman is in a relationship with a guy, she would want him to cry and she would want him to be vulnerable and upset. And I think that's true. So that's what they say, but then I think that's not a lie because I don't necessarily think that they mean it. But realistically, if that did happen, like, and the man was always crying and he was always being upset and that sort of thing, I feel like the woman would almost grow to resent him and think, I don't want to live with this. Like, I want you to be the man. And
to be a man, to be more strong.
Exactly,
and to be more, to handle stress by yourself.
Exactly.
Not just to rely on her.
Rely on her, right? Yeah. It's kind of like what you said before
about... I know what you're talking
Exactly. And like, I think every woman will kid themselves into almost thinking that, oh yeah, I want to see this in my partner. But then when they see it, it's kind of like, ooh.
Yeah,
I don't like it.
I understood you what I'm talking about now. I fully understood. Yeah,
I think every woman has had that experience, or the women that haven't had that experience will eventually have it, and then they'll realize, oh shit, like, sort of thing. But
yeah, but anyways, it really sucks when you are not that real in social media as you want to be.
Yeah. So obviously we talked about the disadvantages there. What are some advantages to obviously being so prominent on social media?
Nowadays, social media can open the door for you, open the doors that a diploma or some business forums cannot open these doors, the same doors. I promise you, I've gained a lot of connections just because I'm a blogger. I had connections with entrepreneurs, with influencers, with people who are so successful in different countries, just because of my blog. So I feel like now social media can really help you to boost your business, to help you boost you as a personality, because now like why people are more rely on social media, because it's became a world in which we're living. We're not living in the real world now. Oh my gosh, my accent is so...
No, I get you. It's the digital world.
In the digital world, right?
Exactly.
They're not living in the real world. They're living in the digital world. And when you want to, I feel like, to make more money, even we can use as an example Iman Gaji or Andrew Tate, if you know him.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
What they're doing, they launched a business.
Yeah.
And they started paying people who are making a content about them. If you will scroll the Instagram about Iman Gaji, there will be a lot of like Instagram profiles about him, like about people who producing this content for money.
Yeah, purporting his content, and then they get money.
It's a secret, but he told about this in one of his interview that he paid like money for these people.
Yeah.
He paid them money to produce a content about him.
Yeah.
But I feel like 4 days ago, it was completely differently because people were making content by themselves. It was a fan page. They started making some videos about like a famous stars by themselves. But now, such people like as Andrew Tate, Iman Gaji, they started paying people for making this content about them.
It's interesting you talk about Andrew Tate because I seen a thing the other day. So, for example, I went to university. I've got an undergraduate. I went and did a master's degree as well, and I can talk firsthand on the eligibility of saying that they don't really mean much. Like, yes, they get you some places, but with the access that you're talking about through social media and through the digital world, like you can gain so much more without it. So, for example, Andrew Tate, he has like an online education system, like a university pretty much. I think they pay like 50. Are you familiar? Yes. So they pay $50 a month or whatever it is, and they get at least lessons. And I seen that some kid had basically paid $50 a month, and in 6 months he'd earned more than like
I've seen this video.
Yeah, and I've seen it, and I just thought that is very understandable now, because that is if you know where to look and like the right lessons to learn and how to shortcut things, how to like learn those sort of digital skills. Yeah, you can pretty much, the world is your oyster, pretty much.
Yeah, like Andrew Tate, Iman Gaji, and other people like them. Why they're famous? They're just a simple entrepreneurs. There's a simple businessmen, but they are starting going like by trend. They started following the trend. If you want to achieve like and to gain more like followers firstly and more clients, to attract more clients, you need to produce a content in social media. Yeah. It doesn't matter what type of business you have. If you want to be a strong competitor to other companies, you have to be on social media.
There's no other choice.
And it really helps me in the business way.
Yeah. So what are some tips that you would tell people to sort of boost their online profile and therefore boost their income or whatever?
You mean what would be my advice to people, how to find themselves in social media and what content to produce? Yeah, so like if you wanted to make money online and so you wanted to take your business online, what are some key things that you would tell people to do on social media? First of all, I would say I feel like they need to produce more commercial videos. Right, okay. Yeah, but at the first stage of their blog, they should maybe introduce themselves in social media and then to produce some unique content. Right, okay. Or maybe follow trends. Yeah. Because now I see a lot of bloggers that are making exactly the same content. Right. And sometimes I'm one of them. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm following the trend. If you will look at my page, you can see a video that gained 17 million views. Right. I've just copied one blogger from TikTok. He was making a video with open mouth, wow, and then he was looking at the nature of the mountains, and like his video gained around 20 million views per video.
Right, okay.
So you know what I mean?
Yeah. So you just took that trend,
I took
did
this
it
trend,
in your own way, and
yes,
then it got the same results.
but for car.
Right, okay.
Yeah. And then I gained 17 million views. I was literally shocked.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And that's really crazy. And then I started making the same content. If I will just give you some tip. If you will find a video that will take and that will boost your views, if you'll find one video or one trend that really helped you to boost your audience, just to try to copy this trend.
Right, okay.
And to shoot the same trend, but in different maybe angles.
Different ways, yeah.
Different ways.
Right, okay.
But keep it. It was one of my mistake, I think, this year. I've kept making the same, like, own content with open mouse for 1 month, and then I stopped. Because I moved here and I couldn't find any really cool and rich cars in Liverpool. And then I was literally depressed because I couldn't find any. It was a winter time. It was so cold and I couldn't find any, like Rolls Royce or Lamborghini. I couldn't find them.
Yeah, you don't really see many around.
Yes, in Liverpool. But to go to London just for shooting this content, you should be so lucky to catch these cars with these people. Yeah, because it was a winter time. So there were a lack of such cars. Yeah. And then I stopped.
Right.
But when I continued to producing, I produced 3 videos, the same trend. And the second video gained 1 million views. The third video gained 100,000 views.
Right, okay.
900,000. 900,000, right. So yeah, this is one of the tips. So yeah, when you're starting, just find one trend.
Find the trend, and then but then make it your own.
Make your own and keep going at the same trend. Keep going to shoot the same trend, but from different ways.
Okay, very interesting. Yeah. So obviously, talking about social media on that trend still. So what was your first bad experience on social media? Obviously, with you having such a big following, what was the first bad experience that you had?
Is when one of my haters created more fake accounts and tried to harass me.
Right, okay.
It was when I had my previous account, when I was a cosplayer. I don't know this man. Maybe it's a woman. I'm still wondering who is that. But he tried to harass me. Under each video, he wrote me a comments like, "You are fool. You are silly girl. You are animator. Just work as an animator. What are you producing?" It's such bad words.
Yeah.
Inappropriate words to me. I was really young, so it was the worst experience ever while I was blogging. I didn't expect that people would be so cruel to me. They didn't even know me. Why are they so cruel to me? They just see the picture. They just see the cool image in the social media, my profiles and my videos. But why they judge me just for what I make? If you don't like me, just unfollow me. Why are you making a couple of fake accounts to write bad things about me under my videos? And then, of course, I reported these accounts. I've told my followers via stories, just could you please report these accounts because I'm feeling really bad about this. Yeah.
So obviously you mentioned you were a cosplayer. That's what obviously led into you having this stalker and whatnot. So what was it like being a cosplayer? What started that?
It was quite, I would say, scareful.
Scareful?
Scareful.
Okay.
Because I wanted to be an actress when I was 14 years old. I really wanted to be her. And then I started thinking, why do I need to apply for the actress, to apply for university to become an actress, if I can be the actress in my own profile, to make funny videos, but as a little girl who is wearing the same costumes. I've made a cosplay on Woman Cat, of Wonder Woman.
Oh, okay.
Of the one girl from Deadpool with the curly hair.
Oh, yeah.
With the weapon, you know?
Yeah,
do you remember her?
I know you mean, yeah.
Yeah, and I was living in my little world of cosplay, you know?
Right, okay.
I've started keeping a little figures of cosplaying. I've started rewatching these videos and try to understand how they act in these videos, how they act in these movies, and try to maybe to develop some skills.
Where did you go with that? It's like were you sort of just videoing it online?
Yeah, it was a couple of videos in YouTube, but it didn't work because I wasn't that good in YouTube at that time.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, I don't remember like certain bloggers or influencers from my hometown that were really good in YouTube. That was really good, but none of them was really good. And 5 years later, like 5 years ago in YouTube, that's why I was just like I focused fully on Instagram.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, but it was kind of funny. It's careful, but at the same time, it's funny because I was invited to some bloggers events, and I tried to wear the same costumes. Oh my gosh, when I remember how they looked at me, like I'm an animator, and then I tell them,
who's they?
Like people who organize this event,
right, okay.
or like some bloggers who hate me, also who hated me really much. So yeah, a lot of haters, but then maybe it affected on me.
Yeah,
I stopped doing this.
So what was the sort of turning point from you becoming obviously being a cosplayer to then going into entrepreneurship?
When my account was hacked,
right,
I've started like to building my name again, and then I realized that I don't want to be that girl again who was so hated in Instagram. I don't want to be. It really affected on me in a bad way. And I started feeling like I don't want to produce silly content like using some costumes anymore. I just want to be myself, who I am like in the real world.
Yeah.
I am Miya. I want to be Miya. I'm the girl who is like obsessed with fashion, some entrepreneurship. That's it.
So it was kind of like a motivation thing. So you lost the motivation for the cosplayer, but then you kind of got it.
I lost motivation.
So like,
yeah.
Obviously, as you're going through your life and whatnot, when you sort of lose that motivation, how do you sort of rebalance yourself?
Friends and my parents, they helped me in that way. I had one friend, Kolya. I hope so that he will be watching this video, but he told me one thing: you are the most talented girl that I've ever seen. You have been blogging for 3 years, for 3 or 4 years, and why some haters or some hackers can stop you doing the same? Just start again. I believe in you. I do believe in you, and I feel like you can do it again. But let's create another name for you. And we started scrolling, we started using some websites to find a cool name for me. But then Miya came to my mind. It's my blogger professional name, Miya Muratta. And we both created this name, and I called him. I found the cool name. He told me, yeah, I believed in you. Just start doing the same.
So that was the exact moment that you sort of made that transition?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then you came up with this sort of like a professional name, and then
then I started working with some woman who is a professional in content. Like she's a professional content creator, and she was doing an influencer marketing company. So she had it, and then she helped me to follow the new trends, because I was a cosplayer, and then I suddenly started to be a lifestyle blogger, so I didn't know the trends.
Right. Okay.
That was like for lifestyle bloggers, and then she started like giving me some references. So what content should I produce? So yeah, and we started collaborating with her. So she helped me, I helped her.
Right, okay, interesting.
Yeah.
What's one skill that you've had to learn like the hard way in entrepreneurship?
It's interesting question. So you mean like one skill that I learned?
So like one what was really hard for you to learn? What was a necessity?
I feel like fast problem solving.
Okay.
Like 3 months ago, I had one experience with video producer. we have dealt that we're gonna have a video shooting in the next day, and 2 hours before the shooting, he called me and he told me, I've lost some of my camera equipment. I cannot be there. I'm sorry, but I have paid for studios.
Mm.
I have paid for models.
Mm.
I've paid for everything from my own money. And then this man told me this. I suddenly started calling another video producers. And the way how I managed it so fast, it really helps me in a business. A fast problem solving skill when I was working as event coordinator in Uzbekistan, because event is equal to chaos. Chaos, yeah. Did I spell it right?
Yeah, you said you got it right.
Okay, guys who are watching me now, I'm sorry for my accent. I'm not native English speaker. I'm Russian speaker, yeah. So don't judge me for some minor mistakes. So yeah, and the way how during the event stuff going so fast.
Yeah.
You know, you start being so problem solver.
Yeah, yeah.
If someone will call you, just solve it in 5 minutes. You
Yeah.
should be there. You should be there. You're running. I've been launched cinema festival when I was working as event coordinator. So you can imagine.
Yeah.
With famous stars.
Things are going wrong, and then you have to just sort of.
You need to find a solution in a very quick way.
Yeah, yeah.
And this skill is really helping me now.
It's a very good skill to have, because like in my job as well, like there's constant last minute problems where like you couldn't have foreseen it coming, but it's happened and there's no way around it. You just have to deal with it there, and so it is a very good. But that's where like you talked about adaptability. Like it's one thing it does teach you, like constant problems. I was reading like Elon Musk's book, and it was saying it's not written by Elon Musk, it's written by someone else. So it's quite interesting. And it says that by far one of the most impressive things that Elon Musk does is how quick he solves problems, like, and how much stress that he can deal with. Like someone will come to him last minute and say this catastrophic thing's happened, and he won't even break a sweat. It's just like, all right, okay, well, we're going to do this, and this, and it's the problem's almost solved already. So like it is a very good skill for everyone to learn.
And then you should be, when you face with some really bad situation that happened like suddenly in your life, you planned but things didn't go as you planned. You need to just relax and start thinking critically. What can I do? Is that whom I can call, with whom I can solve this problem? And the thoughts are really helping me to solve my daily problems as well. Especially I had worse experience in airport like 1 month ago, the worst one. I really stressed so much. I've lost the bag with my computer, my documents. I didn't know where. I came to the hotel, I was literally crying, and then I stopped myself and started calling with the cold mind. Started calling Uber, started calling people in the airport, and then I ordered an Uber again. I've gone to airport and I found my bag. But if I'll be crying, if I'll be so nervous, I don't think that I will find it.
You don't think you would have solved the problem, like, because it doesn't solve anything, does it?
Yes. Okay. So there are really a lot of examples in my life how I manage stuff and how I manage problems so quickly. So I feel like if you want to become a businesswoman, businessman, it doesn't matter who, you need to be a problem solver. Yeah. A speed. You need to like improve your speed. In that
100%. Yeah, I fully agree. So walk us through the first steps that you took to building your business.
I found a team, so I invested in it. So
how did you find a team?
Through some colleagues, through some friends. I've started calling them. Do you know the person who is really good in IT? Do you know the person who is really good in art galleries? And then I've asked my dad also. So does he know some people who is working the same field, but who is now searching for a job, or who are like enthusiastic about this project? And I found my team. So
it's kind of like networking.
Yeah, networking. It's only about networking. And we were a team of 5 or a team of 4. A team of 4.
So what do you have? What specifically do you have in that team?
You mean who I have?
Like who is the specialist?
Yeah. IT specialist in metaverse, a girl who was really proficient in art galleries. The third woman is PR manager, and the first person was me. Okay. And the fifth one was a website developer.
Right. Okay. So what's like the core mission of your business?
The core mission was to attract investors to our country and to try ourselves as in IT sector to introduce something new, because metaverse is something as Elon Musk to Uzbekistan.
Right.
Like you know what I mean. We don't have our like Starcom, I would say, but metaverse, it was something really new. We was the first startup in Central Asia who made this project into reality. Yes. And when I showed this project to people who were like a B2B clients, to be honest, they wasn't interested in this project, because Uzbek companies, they want to, they are more for rationality rather than for trends.
Right.
But it doesn't work the same as in the Europe, like UK or USA. That's why I'm here, because I have a really cool innovative ideas that I want to apply here. But in Uzbekistan,
so they don't want to take risks. Like they don't want to take them risks on something that might be. They don't want to take any risk.
They don't want to take a risk.
Yeah,
they don't want to spend.
They want a sure thing.
Yes.
Right.
They are more for rationality.
Yeah. So what personally, what is the most important thing that you can invest in?
Your team.
Your team.
Just team, yeah. If you will surround your business with a good team, you can build a really qualitative product. It's only about team. If you have a team of stupid people who are pretending that they are cool and they are smart enough, but they are not actually, you'll lose. Because if you have people who are the same they have the same ambitions as you, they have the same mindset as you, I think you can make it. And now I'm gaining this team now. I'm starting building again the new team for my new project. So I will open the secret for you. I have my middle sister. She's a 3D Blender developer.
Okay.
I have people from PR, like who are marketer. I have IE project team, AI.
Oh, okay.
AI software developers.
Interesting.
So yeah, they all help me. So yeah, I've started making another team, and I would say in the future, of course, I would invest in it. So, but this project, it's not just my own project. My main partner is my middle sister now.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So I was going to ask you, like my next question was going to be around trust. So how do you sort of navigate trust around these teams? But I guess if it's family, like I guess that trust comes quite easy. Or would you say it makes it quite complicated?
For middle sister, I would say that she's like a little me. I see a little girl, like a little myself in her. So I just love her so much, and she loves me too. So I don't think that I need to think about trust when it comes to her. But about other people, I always sign a contract.
Right. Okay.
Again, if you want to be an entrepreneur, you should always sign a contract that will secure your rights, that will secure everything that you are doing. I had a problem. I had some difficulties with that in the past.
When you didn't have contracts?
When I didn't have contract, and someone didn't even pay me for what I made, or some companies like for which I made a content, they didn't even pay me, or they waited too long for payment. And when I asked them, where is the payment? Oh yeah, we forgot. We will send you in the next months. And I was waiting, but no payment at all.
Yeah, because there was no
contract.
But
I didn't have contract.
Yeah.
So how can I secure my rights? How can I prove that I had this contract with them? I just deleted the video about them. That's it.
There's nothing you can do. Fair enough.
But
good advice, especially from a 19-year-old.
Yes.
Yeah.
Always. And I have one of my closest friends. Her name is Gabi. She's an entrepreneur as well. So she introduced me also to this role.
Right, okay.
She told me, if you want to become successful, because she's a really successful entrepreneur, if you want to become a successful, just everywhere you should sign a contract. Just create a contract to secure your rights. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, solid advice.
Yes.
Definitely. Was there ever a moment, obviously, with you being, like, obviously in the world that you're in, was there ever a moment where you really wanted to give up?
Of course I had this experience.
And what caused that moment?
As I mentioned before, when I lost my previous account profile, I wanted to give up so much. And I didn't want to start again because I felt so rough. I wanted to just finish everything and just to be a normal person as everyone. And then one quote that I've seen in the social media. It quote goes like this. It's better to be not like everyone in the crowd. It's much better to be like that rather than to be a gray mouse in a crowd.
Interesting. Can you explain that?
It's like when you how can I explain it? You should more be focused on doing something that other don't do. Like, so you can highlight your personality, your individuality in the crowd. So you will highlight yourself rather than be a gray mouse in a crowd. So no one will mention you. No one will pay attention on you.
Yeah.
So you'll be like a gray mouse. And I feel like in university, I've seen a lot of people who are following the rule to be a gray mouses. They just want to be like them. It's just their lifestyle. I don't judge them at all. If they're like life path, and I don't judge them, but I'm like from another world, I would say. And in my circle of friends, I have just these people.
I remember, like, I think I have that trait as well, because I remember in high school, when questions would get asked in class, did you ever do them like sort of voting questions where it can either be yes or no? So like, you know, for example, the teacher would ask a question and then would say, is this true or is this false? And everyone, if it was true, like, you know, people would put the hand up, but the people that thought it was false, you can see them thinking, oh, a lot of people have got the hand up, so I guess I'll put my hand up too. Whereas I never used to have a problem just being like, no, I don't agree. So like, and like that kind of relates to what you were saying of like, I think it's conformity. The word is conformity, isn't it? You sort of conform with what the majority do, like the sheep mindset, you know. You see you see a lot of people going down one path, and a lot of people think, oh, well, I should go down that path too.
Absolutely true.
And I feel like a lot of the time, like that was something that was ingrained into me as a child, and that was ingrained in my family, was just because you think people are doing one thing, don't think that you have to as well. Like, it's perfectly fine for you to go and do your own thing.
This is the point. Like, you know, today I've been in lecture. I'm a still student.
Okay.
I'm doing my second year. I was at lecture and tutor asked us one question to the auditory. Everyone was silent. And I answered this question. Everyone started looking at me like, oh, you are so brave. You answered this question. But everyone know the answer on this question. She, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. She started a video about one sound. So we needed, our task was to find out from which company the sound is. It's like a regionally slogan sound.
Okay.
And it was 20th century sound. Everyone knows about the sound.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Everyone was silent.
Was she doing it as a test to see?
It's like not a test, it's just like a daily task during the lectures.
Yeah, so it wasn't.
Yes. And everyone know about this. But it was silent because they don't want to express what they're thinking. They don't want to highlight their personality among the crowd. That what I mean. So yeah,
I think a lot of it is like the fear of failure as well. Like maybe not with that example, because I think everyone was confident, but
or a fear to be loved.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, 100%. So, in terms of business, what has been your biggest failure, and how did you overcome it?
I would say my biggest failure was to launch a project for focusing more on B2G model.
So what was that?
B2G, like business to government.
Okay.
Now, if you want to make more money, you should be focused on real businesses, not on the government.
Like private?
Private businesses, yeah. So I've learned from this experience a lot. So now I don't think that I will again work with government.
Yeah, they control you.
Yes, they will control me. They will control, because government sometimes can't
make contracts up.
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
And sometimes they can't allow you to do to produce some services that you want to, because goes against the law, but
Yeah.
it's not
The
actually.
thing with the government is the fact that they can almost make the rules as they go. So like
Yeah.
you can do something with them, and then retrospectively they can take that off you. Like
Yeah.
and there's just nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, that's why. I need to sit again. And I think like now I'm gonna work just be on B2B model. So it was like not just a failure, it was my biggest mistake because my last project, it didn't fail. So it was kind of successful, but then I just finished it.
Right, okay.
So because I moved here, so what was the sense to continue this project? Because it's like for B2G, it's not for B2B. If it would be a B2B project, I would continue, of course. But now I just closed it. I've sold my part of this company.
And you've learned your lesson and just like left it at
that.
that.
just left alone. Yeah, I don't know what's happened with this company now, but I want to start again, but in another sector of business.
Yeah. So when it comes to making like big decisions in the business world, how do you go about making those risky decisions? What's your thought processes?
First of all, I think you should be news aware. You should build a news awareness.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Every day is my like a daily habit. I read a lot of daily news among the world. BBC, CNN, RIA News. RIA News, it's a Russian newspaper because I want to hear both sides. Like because some news, they are filtered by another countries, so they're not even true.
Well, I was just about to say, like, obviously, especially in the UK, with the BBC in the UK, a lot of it, like, I've not watched the news pretty much since COVID.
Yeah.
Because it's almost fake news. Like, you can't believe what they say anymore. So how do you navigate, obviously, fake news from... Like you said, you sort of look at both sides, but
both sides.
How do you know what the both sides are?
Sometimes I'm listening to some YouTubers, like people who are politics, but in YouTube, who are telling people about their thoughts, their opinions, who share their opinions with people. But I'm just my intuition maybe. But I'm not that into politics. I'm not into it. So I'm just it's like a daily habit, you know. Do you remember our grandpa like sitting with the newspaper? Turning the news, or like sitting with newspaper like in a bus just reading some news. So I'm like kind of them, but I'm young and I'm reading like it in some group channels, like, you know, or like I'm opening the BBC like
you're just doing the same thing but digitally.
Right? Yeah. So you got my point.
So what's the biggest risk you have taken? Obviously, you said you need to sort of be news aware before you're making these like big risky decisions, but what is the biggest risk that you've taken?
I didn't take since that time, like by this time I didn't take a huge risk, but I'm gonna take it soon.
Interesting.
That's why I'm so scared. I'm really scared.
Maybe a Truth Temple podcast exclusive? No.
Yeah, exclusive. Yeah, because we're shooting this content before I launched my new project.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, but I'm really, really scared because I'm young and I'm new to the UK.
Yeah.
Yeah, as you hear, like, I think like you have mentioned, all the people who are watching me now, that I don't have that native English skills. I don't have it, because if you will speak with me, you will understand that I'm not native English speaker anyways. However, it doesn't stop me. I just want to. I know what I'm doing, but I want to take a risk.
Yeah. No, 100%.
I'm so obsessed.
You've got to take risks at some time.
Yes.
So is there a particular like mantra or like philosophy that you sort of carry with you in order to help you take risks?
My guiding philosophy: if you are not moving forward, you are falling behind.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's my favorite quote.
I heard one the other day, and it was saying that if you're in control, you're not moving quick enough.
Yes.
And I like that one too. That kind of relates to your one, but yeah.
Yeah.
So like, how does that sort of relate to your risk taking then? How do you use that?
Again?
So how do you relate that to sort of then going forth and taking risks? So do you just remind yourself of that and then think that, oh yeah, this is how I'm going to proceed?
No, I would say I'm supporting my decisions to take a risk by my knowledge.
Right. Okay.
With my knowledge. And I feel like the main problem in this generation is people, when they watch social media podcasts. They watch some advices for young entrepreneurs who have made a huge, like, a huge step in their like personal life or professional life. They start thinking that it's so easy, and they don't want to support it by their knowledge, with their knowledge. They just are risky people. Yeah. Do you know the quote? Who is risky? This person is drinking champagne. Who is not risky, you'll not drink a champagne. I feel like it's a Russian.
I've not heard that exact quote, but I understand what you mean.
Yeah. In Russian, can I spell it in Russian?
Yeah, sure.
Кто не рискует, тот не пьет шампанское.
Yeah, that sounds much better in Russian too. Much more fluent.
You know, I always wondered why there are no people the same with the same mindset as me, as I have, like in my university. Like I have plenty of these people like who surrounds me, but there's a lot of them.
Right.
And one day I asked one boy from my class. I asked him, why don't you want to be an entrepreneur, but you are studying business management here? Why? And he answered me, because I don't want to take this risk. I don't want to. I want to be a good employer, and to work and to earn a fixed amount of money.
Yeah.
Because I need to take care about my future family. If something will go wrong, I will lose everything.
Yeah. So he's afraid to take risks.
Afraid of take risks. Yes.
So like, it kind of like, I've always seen things and it says that, like, people who teach business courses and whatnot have never had their own business. But obviously, as an entrepreneur, why do you feel like you need to go and study it when you're already pretty much ahead of all these people that are studying it?
As my dad told me, and always tell me, if you want to be smart enough, you always should be studying.
Right, okay.
Always, and don't stop.
Yeah.
Even if you are successful, even if you are a billionaire, you need to study. You need to continue study, because, again, things are changing so fast nowadays. You don't know what will happen next day.
Yeah.
But if you have enough knowledge of history, because history, it always repeats. It repeats always. It's like, I would say, have you ever tried to trading? Like
trading? No, I've not.
But it always, like,
it's always
the ornaments.
It fluctuates.
It fluctuates, but ornaments are all the same. Not the same, but they repeat.
Yeah.
So I feel like, so if you want to become successful, from my point of view, because I'm not, I feel like I'm kind of successful girl, but there are a lot of things that I should strive on. So
to play devil's advocate, obviously you're saying like, I should study, but I would argue that you don't necessarily need to be in university to study. Would you agree with that, or do you mean like officially study?
My dad hates this topic. One day I told him, I don't want to continue my study in university. I just want to skip it and just to take courses and to study everything for 3 months. Why do I need to study 3 years? Freaking years.
See, I would agree.
Yes. Yes. But you finished masters.
So I finished my
Yes.
masters. Yeah. Well, yeah. But it's only after, like, obviously I'm 27, so I'm a bit older than you.
Yes.
But if I could, it's one of them. If I could go back, I would still go to university. But
me too.
I would say the best lessons that I learned weren't necessarily through university itself. It was whilst being at university. So, for example, like learning how to live by yourself, learning how to manage your time, learning how to balance everything, like learning how to study, learning how to read, and actually like understand things to a point where you can stand up for. Because for me, like, when you've got all these people that go to university or they do all these courses, but I would argue most of them don't know anything. Like, they don't actually know anything because they're not understanding what they're doing, or they're just regurgitating it. They're just learning it and regurgitating it.
Who or tutors who teach business doesn't have businesses.
Yeah, exactly. So like I always found it hypocritical. Like I come from a sports science background, and I'm not saying I know everything about sports science, but I could pretty much, because of the studying, I can read pretty much anything and understand it and then think about it logically. Whereas a lot of people didn't necessarily learn them skills. They just learned that, muscular hypertrophy happens because of this. And they can just tell you that, but they can't tell you why.
And they just tell you hypothesis.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, without nothing's proven.
But nothing is proven.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's why one day I tried to talk about this with my dad, and he told me, please don't annoy me. Just go and continue your studying.
Like a proper dad.
Yes, like all the dads. And then I realized that, okay, but it's my safe pillow anyways. Like,
I guess so.
Like diploma, yeah, but I don't want to use it.
Yeah, but I'll say, if you want to live like that, then fair enough.
Yeah, I just have it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yes. But I feel like now you can learn everything by yourself in 3 months.
Yeah, you have no limitations.
Especially with ChatGPT. You just sometimes it's a secret. It's my secret, but I use ChatGPT as a psychologist.
As a what? Psychologist? Interesting. So you just ask it questions.
I asking questions. What will I do in this situation? What I'm supposed to do? Or how can I overcome this problem? Just help me with that. Just give me some tips. And it started producing some tips.
Some useful.
Yes. So, and then I realized, why do I need to pay psychologists when I have ChatGPT?
That's an interesting one. I'll have to tell a few people about that.
Yeah. Try it.
I'll try it.
If you have a difficult problem, or like you will have a mental breakdown, just talk with ChatGPT.
Interesting.
Don't pay psychologists. ChatGPT is the best one.
Yeah, you heard it here first. So what are some daily habits and routines that are a necessity to becoming successful?
To get up early, to eat healthy food, not junk food at all. But I allow myself to eat junk food, but once a week, but no more. And try to cook by yourself. Just don't spend and waste your money on ready meal. Because when you're starting cooking, it's also about problem solving and decision making. When you're cooking something, you are like, maybe I'm a woman, I'm telling this, but you're starting thinking about everything, like, what I put here, what should I put there? And it also like helps you to gain some maybe daily habit.
Yeah, and
like
calmness as well.
Yes. And if you don't have enough money, because ready meal is kind of expensive. Like, it's better to cook by yourself than to buy ready meal always. For lunch, for breakfast, for evening. So just cook by yourself. You will save your money, and you will like improve and enhance your discipline maybe in some cases, and to doing sport.
Brilliant. So get up early, cook your own meals, eat healthy, and do what kind of sports do you do?
Sport. I'm doing Pilates and gym.
Pilates. Oh, nice.
Yeah. But I think I abandoned it for 1 week.
We all do that.
Yes.
Don't we, Reese?
I abandoned it, really. And then I'm like, yeah. And I was speaking in my TD channel about discipline. I'm like, yeah, everyone should be so disciplined. And then I'm like, I looked at the mirror and I realized that I literally abandoned it. And then yesterday, I started again.
Yeah.
But, running on a treadmill, it helps me to express all my emotions. The same as boxing.
Boxing, you like boxing?
Yes.
Interesting.
But I don't have time to do boxing here.
Right, okay.
I don't have really time, but in my hometown, I always go for boxing.
Brilliant. Is there anything else you do maybe like towards the evening?
Again?
Is there anything else you maybe do towards the evening as part of your daily routine to
It's not a part of my daily routine. It's like when I have a bad mood,
okay.
when I'm so stressed, I'm just going for boxing. I'm just trying to imagine that this, what is it? Like
mannequin.
This mannequin
yeah.
is a person who annoys me. I'm just bitter at him.
One person off your team, maybe.
Not from my team. No, from my personal life.
Interesting. Though.
Yeah.
So what are some of your biggest strengths?
I'm a really strong woman. Really strong.
In what way? Mentally?
Mentally. Like 2 months ago, I had really tough times in my life because I don't want to talk about this, but I felt like I really wanted to give up. I had breakup.
Right, okay.
So you know what I mean now.
Yeah, of course. Heartbreak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I was literally wanted to give up. And I've bought a ticket to the UK because I was in Uzbekistan for 2 months because of the summer vacations. And I've bought a ticket. I came here and I started building myself again, brick by brick, to try to building a new chapter of life.
Yeah.
It was really difficult for me because I'm a woman, and I really tried to fix all my thoughts in my head, but sometimes I felt like I couldn't, and I was all alone here, all alone. But I have a couple of friends here, right? My close friends Gabi and Paulina, some girls, some friends, and again new friends here, but it's not the same. Like they are not like the same friends that have known me for 10 years from my hometown.
Yeah.
So they also helped me so much. I really appreciate them, really, and love them so much. Like friends here, but I'm all alone, living alone in my flat, and I tried to handle all the stress that I had by myself.
So what kind of things did you do in order to make yourself feel better in the long run?
Shooting TikToks.
TikTok.
It's like I feel like it's one of the way how I handle my stress.
Right. Okay. So like, was it filming like business content though, or was it filming?
I'm gonna start like shooting a YouTube business content soon. But when I had this times, I literally I was thinking that I don't want to continue anymore. I just want to end up. Really, I'm done. I'm really done. But then when you started thinking, do you want to just give up because of one person, or do you want to just give up of the one situation that happened to you in 19 years old, or even so like in 20 years old, like at 25, it doesn't matter. And then I was all alone, so I've started build myself all alone, brick by brick again. And the same breakdowns I had a couple of times during my life till 19 years old, when my profile was hacked, when some friends betrayed me, when some people who promised me to be like always with me, they betrayed me. And when I had some difficulties, like family, some circumstances, so I overcame it all alone because I'm the older sister. I didn't have so much support, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Because sometimes you can't tell like your own problems to your friends. You just want to tell it to someone who is in your family. But I had just my middle sister, and now she's 17. She's gonna be 17 years old in December, and now I feel like she's on the same like level as me. Not like level. I mean like
maturity.
My maturity, yeah. So we can speak with her about it.
Yeah.
But I've gone through these difficulties all alone.
Yeah. So you're quite resilient then, is a strength of yours.
And sometimes I'm a bit afraid of myself because I sometimes can be like as strong as a man mentally.
Right.
That's why it's pretty difficult for me to find relationships.
All right. Okay. Because you overpower them.
Yes. Because I don't want to be stronger than my man.
Yeah. 100%.
I want to be weaker than my man, but I couldn't find a person who will be more stronger than me. I couldn't find.
See, it's very rare that women in the Western world will admit what you just admitted and say like, I want a stronger man. Usually they'll be like, I want to be stronger, and then when they realize that they're in that position where they're mentally stronger, or they're the leader or whatever, then they soon that sort of relationship changes, doesn't it? How do you? So what were some of your weaknesses then, would you say? So obviously you're quite resilient.
I'm so emotional.
You're emotional.
It's one of my biggest weaknesses. I'm so emotional. So you can see it during our podcast. I'm so emotional, girl. And I can cry for about 1 week or 2 weeks non-stop just because of one situation, and then I'll stop it. I'll just stop it and I will not cry anymore. Or if something will happen, like I mean like happy moments, I'll have that smile that, oh my gosh, it's something that I was waiting for the rest of my life, but it was just a usual thing, Maybe just someone texted me in Instagram, told me like, yeah, you are so cool, and I'm like, oh yeah, thank you so much. But I think like I need to be more I don't need emotions in the business, and this is one of my weaknesses.
Interesting. So you can't.
I admitted it.
So it's kind of like the stocks that you were talking about before, where it's kind of up and down.
Yes.
I heard this thing a long time ago. It was a person talk, because I used to be quite aggressive when I was a child.
Yes.
Well, not when I was a child. I was getting sort of in college, and I remember talking to my biology teacher about it, and he said this very interesting thing, and we were actually studying about the heart at the time. And he said, and I said, like, well, I don't want to be up here all the time, and I don't want to be like down here all the time, because I'm constantly. And he told me that he said, he goes, well, what does an ECG look like? Like a heartbeat on an ECG machine, where it beeps, it goes up, doesn't it?
Yes.
And he said, he said a very interesting thing. He said, well, what would happen if you were just constantly in the middle all the time? And it's a flat line. So, when you die, you go flat, don't you?
Yeah.
And he goes, so you need the up and down. He said, if you're in the middle, that's pointless, you'll be dead. If you like this video so far, don't forget to drop a like, comment, and subscribe at Truth Temple Podcast.
But sometimes emotions cannot be on your side.
Yeah.
Yeah, because especially when you are facing with some problems and you're becoming more aggressive about it, you can crush something, or you can crush your phone even. And then you will spend your money to spend your money to replace like your phone. I'm kind of really emotional, so I can be sometimes really aggressive, really happy. I don't have the middle, the middle point.
The middle.
And I think this is one of my ways.
So obviously, when you're going through these emotions or stress in general, how do you handle stress? What do you do?
Shooting TikToks, as I've mentioned before.
Okay, so that's all you do to handle your stress.
Yeah, and drinking hot tea. Green tea. I'm drinking hot tea, taking my tripod, putting my phone on it, and then started like maybe producing some content, and then I love to post it. And my followers, my fans, they started like full my blog with some cool comments like, "You're so beautiful. Oh my gosh, so beautiful. Oh my gosh, where did you born? Where are you from?" And I was literally, it really boosts my self-esteem.
Interesting.
It really boosts, and I'm like, I'm feeling, oh my gosh, I'm so loved in this world. It really helps.
Interesting. So what is success to you? Like, how do you measure success?
It's a really interesting question. I believe like the big measurement of success is to be person of who your family is proud of. Is the biggest measurement of success. If your family is really proud of what you have done, and if you helped to achieve their goals, they invested in you when you were a little girl in a school. They invested in you when you were in college, and then your time to invest in your family. So you know what I mean? And when you realize that you have enough money to help your family to achieve some of their like dreams, or to make their dreams come true, so then you started realizing that I've done it. Like, did you see some cool videos about men who were saving money for buying a cool car for his dad? Or like for his mom, because it was his dream. Or her dream, doesn't matter.
I can definitely relate to that. I think that one of the first things I want to do once I've made enough money is to give it back to my family.
To give back to the family,
because all that investment that they made, like.
And I think this is the biggest success measurement.
100%.
And then I would say when people try to copy you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you see that people are trying to copy what you are doing, actually, like as an influencer, how you wear some clothes, what you are speaking about. And I think like it's a success because you are becoming a role model for them.
It shows that you're doing something right.
Yes. I can get some girls like on the TikTok who's making a content about, oh, she's copying me. Oh my gosh. Don't stop it. Like, stop it, please. Don't copy me. And they're like, so they are starting to act so anxious to these people who started copying this girl.
Yeah.
But I'm more like Like, I like it when people copy me or what I'm doing.
Yeah.
It shows me that I'm doing something right, I'm on the right path, and I want to be this person.
Influential.
Exactly. And one of my dreams was to be a part of TED Talks.
TED Talks, interesting.
Yeah.
I'm sure like you will get that chance.
Finger crossed.
So obviously we've got the current Gen Zs coming through, and then obviously Generation Alpha to follow. So what's some advice that you would have for those people who have those aspirations and dreams, perhaps like yourself, but they don't know where to start?
First of all, please don't rush yourself. Don't rush. If you see that this video about Porsche, Lamborghini, so yeah, we have made this business for 1 year, so we have grown plenty of money just for 3 months. Don't rely on this. Just please, you should be more confident using your knowledge. You should rely only on your knowledge.
Yeah.
Don't rush yourself. If you feel like you're not ready now to launch your business, don't do it. Just give yourself time to gain this knowledge, to work in some companies, to gain this experience as an employee, and then you can start something. You can make something. Because why I mentioned this, because while like I'm also a part of Gen Z. I'm a person who is like in Generation Z. And Gen Z people, we are more like likely to watch the content of where people are try to make a pressure on us, like, by their successes.
Yeah.
It's like a pressure. When you started scrolling your page and when you see a lot of videos of successes, you started feeling so bad, like you're a loser. You need to rush somewhere. That's why I feel like, do you feel like that in 2024 time flies so fast?
Yeah.
More like faster.
More so than when your childhood.
More.
100%. Yeah.
Because you are sitting in the phone, you started scrolling, and you rush yourself by yourself. You're making with your hand. So this is one of my advice. Don't rush, please. And the second advice I would give them, don't think that bad things just happen. Bad things happen just in your life. Everyone have bad days. Everyone. You don't know what is behind the screen. You don't know the real picture of the life of the certain person, like who you follows. Even so, when I had this mentally breakdown 2 months ago, no one recognized it. No one. And then I told people, I had these tough times, and they told me, but you didn't look so. When we looked at your stories, it seems like you're absolutely okay and you're so happy. But I told them, because it's my part behind the screen.
It's like a mask that you have.
It's like a mask. And social media, it's all about masks. People are wearing these masks. They will go to Bali, they will shoot some cool content in Bali, but they will go there using a hot trip. You know what I mean?
Girls
hot trip, yeah.
Hot girl summer.
Hot girl summer, right. But they will be living in a small room. They will pay for this room like for about $50, I mean.
Yeah.
But they will show it in the page like they're so rich. But they're living their best lives. But behind the screen, it's not. So please don't rely on what you see in social media. Please don't rely. I am an influencer. I know what I'm talking about. Even when I have tough experience, tough times, I don't show people that I have it. I don't show it people.
Do you think that will ever change? Do you think you ever will?
I don't think that I will, because I don't want to seem weak in social media. I don't want to see it. I don't want to introduce myself as a weak woman, because we all want to be strong. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean.
So yeah, but or when they see happy couples, like a profile of happy couples, they're making a content, when they're laughing, when they laugh with each other, they're drawing with each other. And you started thinking, why don't I have such relationships? Where can I find this person? Where? And then it's all fake. Because I had the couple that were doing TikToks like with themselves. I had like a good example of it. And then I knew all mess that of what they have gone through, but they didn't show it in the social medias.
It was like they were painting a picture.
It was a perfect, brilliant picture of their couple, but you're starting feeling kind of jealous, when you see such, and you don't know, will I find the same thing? And when you find a good person in your life, when you meet some good persons in your life, you on the mental level, on like psychology level, you try to compare this couple with the person that you have now. And you want to have the same relationships, but they don't truly have these relationships.
It's not real.
It's not real. It's just trends. It's just a beautiful picture of their couple. So don't rely on what you see on social media.
What are some other misconceptions that people have, other than false pictures being drawn? What are some other misconceptions that some people, especially Gen Z, have of influencers, that they don't quite understand the reality of what is happening?
I don't know how to answer on that. Some other misconceptions, but from my point of view, is to think that an influencer is someone that they cannot reach on.
Okay.
I feel like I'm an influencer. I'm a real person. So if someone will need my help, I will definitely help them.
Right.
I'm kind of sincere girl, but some people, when they look at influencers, they look at them like a stars. We don't know how to be as you are. They don't have to be as we are. We are just role models, so we can help with tips how to help them in their lives. But they don't want them to copy us.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean?
They have to live their own life.
They have to live their own life. But sometimes people, it's like it's like a confusion. People got this confusion when they started following some man, and they started even like dress like this person, dress using this trend. Yeah, I'm doing the same, but not too much.
Yeah, I remember reading something in a book about this, and it was talking about because the people we admire are so much more accessible now. Like you can see them a lot. Like obviously, it's always been like that in terms of you always had role models maybe on TV, but because of social media and now how much kids have their own phones, so they can see their idol constantly. And it was talking about because they can see them so much, they want to be them way more than kids used to want to be their idols back in back many years ago. And it was saying that it's becoming more unhealthy because, when kids can't live up to their idol and whatnot, it affects their mental health in the long run, or it affects them when they come to that sort of realization. And I think they sort of were alluding to the fact that kids are forgetting that they have their own life to live. They're trying to live someone else's life. And it kind of relates to what you were just saying there.
That's why now we are a community of influencers in the whole world. We have a strong responsibility for the future generation.
So going into that, what was the best advice that you received that's helped you with your life or with your business or with your entrepreneurship?
I can sound more common now, but do what you love to do. It's just a common thing.
It's just as simple as that.
It's just a simple advice, yeah. So I think a lot of mentors mention this. A lot of Will Smith either, but neither. Yeah, but just to love what you do.
So
if you don't know what you love, to make it profitable, just try to find yourself. Try. If it doesn't work, try again, but in different sector. I've tried myself as event coordinator. I've tried myself as influencer. I've tried myself as a singer.
Interesting.
I haven't mentioned about that.
Any good?
Oh, I have 3 soundtracks.
Oh, interesting.
I've spent a lot of money on it because I was studying how to sing well. I have tried but I didn't like post it anywhere like in Spotify, but I want to in the next year.
Oh, so I was just about to say, they're not accessible now?
It's not accessible now.
Okay.
But after this podcast, I can show you. So
Yeah,
you,
sure.
so you can
Sure,
listen
sure.
on it. But I've tried myself in different ways. And now I find out that I want to be a businesswoman. I love it. I love how I'm feeling to be a businesswoman.
Yeah, so it's what you love.
This is what I love. And I love to be an influencer.
So apart from obviously pursuing what you love, what is the best piece of advice you could offer someone who wanted to pursue their dreams?
Follow me.
Follow you.
Okay, no, I'm kidding. Maybe try to rely on books, not on the social medias.
Interesting. To rely on like sort of old-fashioned knowledge.
Rely on not up-to-date books. Try rely on old books that were written by really big people in our world, like an Elon Musk. I would say, like who created an Amazon. This person, Bezos, Jeff Bezos.
Yeah,
Jeff Bezos. Yeah, or you can like read some books about, I would say, young entrepreneurs, but don't rely on social medias. Try yourself reading books. Because when you try to read books, first of all, it's only about discipline and consistency. When you're reading a book, you need to spend a time on reading it. It's not a beautiful picture when person like telling you, yeah, it's like a good advices. Yeah, like what you need to do become a successful, this. No. Rely on the real old date or like up-to-date knowledge that you can gain from the books. And the second advice I would give them, just don't pretend yourself as someone else. Just be yourself. And don't be scared, especially if this podcast, if some girls from Uzbekistan watching this podcast, please, if you really feel like you're not in your plate, if you feel like you are not in there, you don't want to maybe create a family soon, you don't want to be like a family obsessed now when you're 21 years old or 22 years old. Just try yourself to build the career first, because in Uzbekistan it's a lot of pressure. You don't know about it, but since girls they reached 18 years old age, family, they started making a big pressure on them and try them to find and to match them with some boys from different families. And then girls, they started living like start living with his family. They are starting getting married at 18 years old. They don't know even the life. What is the behind the Uzbekistan? You know? What is the out of Uzbekistan, like other countries? They didn't even see it. But they're married in 18 years old, in 19 years old, and they already have a first kid.
Do you think that's a bad thing?
I don't feel that it's a really bad thing, but sometimes this pressure, it affects badly on the girls.
How so?
Because I would say, like, not a lot of girls want this life, but they need to have this life. Either their parents, her parents threw it away, or like they will give her a passport and just tell her, go away from this house. You know, if you want to live with our parent house, you should follow our rules. That's it. It's so strictful. I know about this. I knew, not in Tashkent, but behind and besides the Tashkent, there are a couple of cities, main cities in in Uzbekistan, and I heard a lot of bad stories about these girls, and they were married not by love,
by law, or just by pressure.
By pressure.
Oh, okay, interesting.
So, this family is really respected by the society. You need to marry this man.
Yeah.
You have to marry this man. Just meet with him, okay? Talk with him, and then we don't care. Do you love him or no? You will marry him. This is how it works. And I've seen a lot of girls, like, who really wanted to be an entrepreneur, who wanted to study in the university. But if you have a kid, you cannot study in university. You don't have time for it. That's why, girls, just please don't be on that pressure. Just try to avoid it. Try to find opportunities everywhere, because there are a lot of opportunities in this world. You just need to save money. Just work as waitress, and then to save money for computer, just buy the computer, and then start scrolling YouTube, and you will find a couple of advices from maybe entrepreneurs or even a mangaji, how to make money, like drop shipping, trading. Just try everything that you want to try. Fashion marketing, maybe posting something on Pinterest. No matter what, there are so much opportunities nowadays. You just need a computer. You need a computer and internet connection.
That's simple.
Brilliant. Yeah.
So we always end the show with a question regarding the truth.
Yeah.
So what has been the hardest truth for you to accept?
Okay. Don't try to make everyone likes you. It's really hardest thing that with which I faced, I'd say. Yeah. Because I really tried myself to be liked by other people. I really tried. It didn't work. A lot of haters, a lot of like cool opinions about me, but just don't rely on people's critics.
Yeah, there's a saying in English, and it goes that if you try and please everyone, you'll please no one.
Yes.
So why even bother? Just please yourself.
Just please yourself. And I feel like I've started following this rule since 18 years old. But till 18 years old, I really tried to be not cringy, to be not how they say, like, not animator, I would say, like acting so silly, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I really tried to be liked by these people, like, or even in the friends meetings. I really tried to be that one person and to introduce myself to be more liked. But then I realized that some people, they will never like you.
No matter what you do.
No matter what you do. No matter how successful you are, or how kind you are, or how good you are. No matter, you'll be just getting on their nerves. That's it.
Interesting. So where can people find you? Instagram.
Yeah.
And then you're starting a YouTube soon.
Yeah, I'm gonna start it.
Cool. We'll have to post it when on our socials.
Sure.
When you do.
Sure. Yeah.
And then
and Telegram as well. So I have a link in my account. So like in the head of my account, so you can find a link for Telegram channel. It's like Telegram it's like a WhatsApp, but for Soviet Union countries.
Right.
Like
okay.
Like, do you know Pavel Durov?
No, not.
Really?
What is that?
It's like the same as Twitter.
Oh,
Telegram.
Okay. Paddledorf.
No, Pavel Durov.
Pavel Durov. I'll have to look into that.
He's so rich.
Oh, okay.
Telegram, it's a platform that is frequently used by Russian people, Kazakhstan, Azerbaijan, Iran, all the countries, Eastern countries.
Right,
they use just Telegram.
Oh, interesting.
Never WhatsApp.
Oh, right, okay. So it's like the Eastern version of WhatsApp then?
Yes.
Ah, right, okay, that's why. So what's next for you, lastly? What's next for you?
What do you mean by that?
So what's next? Like what sort of things have you got coming up next? So you said you're going to release some sort of business soon?
Yeah, I'll keep it a secret.
So you're keeping that a secret, and then what else is next for you? Say, let's say in the next few months.
Think I'm gonna start it in January next year.
Okay.
So yeah, and I will start my YouTube channel really soon. Brilliant. I'm still preparing, but I'm worrying so much.
So you're getting like a videographer and all that sort of stuff, or are you just doing it on yourself?
Just by myself.
Oh, perfect.
Yes, I have tripod.
Brilliant.
I'll buy soon camera. Then I will just shoot by myself because I know how it going. Even so, if I don't have time for like video producer, or I don't have like maybe I don't have someone here who can take a picture of me, like a photographer. I'm doing by myself.
Right,
I'm putting my phone in a tripod, setting a timer, and then I promise you can see one picture in my profile with Forbes journal. It was made by my tripod.
Right, okay.
I promise.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
I've set a timer for 10 seconds. And I know, I already knew the angle. What is the best angle for me?
Yeah.
Because of the experience.
Because you're doing that so much.
Yes!
Yeah.
It is.
Brilliant. Miya Muratta, you've been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for watching. If you like this video and you want to see future videos like this video, then like and subscribe and follow The Truth.